everyone. Welcome to Pregnancy, Nursing, and Nutrition, Healthy Babies and Healthy Mamas. My name is Robin, Certified Nutrition Specialist. I've been a nutritionist for 13 years, have a real passion about using food and nutrition to heal our bodies and to live our best lives. I'm also a mama of a 16-year-old. Tonight, we're going to talk food and nutrition. I have a panel of mamas that are going to share some of what we do, why we do it, how we do it, and how it benefits our families. And we want you to listen. You've been invited because someone loves you a lot and they want you to know what we're up to. You've also been invited. Maybe you're a mama yourself. You're going to be a mama. You're a grandmother. You're in the birthing industry. It's important each one teach one when it comes to, especially any information, but when it comes to this. Let me just lay out this case for support before we hear from the moms. And in some cases, I get real passionate about it and it's alarming. In our world today, we're faced with many challenges, and I'm going to just talk about what we're up against when it comes to food and nutrition. So hear me out when I say this. When you go to the grocery store, more often than not, the produce that you are consuming, you're buying and taking home to feed your families is not as nutritious as you would want it to be. In that, when it is picked, it is not vine ripened. It doesn't even matter if it's organic. So you're taking it home. And when I say not vine ripened, it means that it was picked before all of the nutrition was in it. And so here we are thinking, hoping that we're getting the best of fruits and vegetables, because that's what we want. We want as much nutrition as possible. And that's not always the case. And that poses its challenges. So again, going into the store, you're picking these fruits and vegetables and they don't have as much nutrients in it that you would like. And there is a price to pay for that. The other issue that we face is that a lot of the produce, or some of the produce that we encounter, is genetically modified. And you can research this on your own, some of the challenges that consuming genetically modified foods can create in our bodies. Two issues that I know about specifically has a lot to do with our gut health and our immune system. I'm going to leave it right there, but I just want to say that I have seen a shift, a tremendous shift, and not in a good way, in the health and the nutrition of us as, us as people. And what's even worse is that of our children. They are getting less nutrients than we used to. And it makes me emotional because as a mom, all I want is to give my baby the best. And when I found what we're going to share with you today, it just made sense to me. So all of us, the mamas that you're going to hear from, we found a way to flood our bodies and our families with vine ripened nutrients, nutrition that goes right to us at a cellular level, non-GMO, vine ripened, and it's the best nutrition, and we just want you all to know about it. So as you hear these stories from these mamas, just listen, and then we'll come back at the end and answer any questions that you have. So all of us take raw produce in capsules, and a lot of us grow our produce. So in growing the produce, of course, that is phenomenal, and then taking them in capsules. And when we take them that way, we're getting the whole fruit and vegetables, the pit, the peel, the seed. A lot of people don't understand or know that, let's say in an orange, a lot of the nutrients is in the peel, which is not what you're eating. And this way you're getting it, pits, the peel, the seeds, all of that in this nutrition. So with that being said, I'll come back and wrap this up, but I want to introduce you to Courtney Bunz Powers. Courtney, where are you, Courtney? So Courtney shared with us how you were introduced to taking this whole food nutrition And you as a mom, tell us if you're nursing, just give us a little bit of background and then share what you've noticed by consuming this produce.
Sure. If you see my hand waving, it's because as soon as I get onto anything is when my daughter needs me. I have a 6-year-old who's off on the side here who suddenly needs me.
Got it. Got it.
I want to ask you,
Evie, you need to
It's
wait.
mama life. That's how, you know, this is authentic. This is mama life. So it's we understand how to do that. So when Courtney, let me know when you're ready to pop on and you ready?
I'm
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I was first introduced to these whole food concentrates, gosh, what feels like a lifetime ago. It was about 13 years ago. I was a collegiate athlete, a Division I basketball player, and I spent my first season at that D1 level just constantly sick and injured, and just not my best life. And it was ultimately what I realized, if I knew then what I know now, right? But looking back, my body just wasn't quite keeping up with the demands that I was putting on it. And my best friend, roommate, teammate at the time, she was the only girl on our team of 15 girls to not miss a single game or even a practice due to illness or injury for our entire freshman season. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Division I collegiate level, but like that's unheard of, to not have anything go on for an entire season. And so when the season was over, she actually shared with me what she had been consuming since she was a little kid, thanks to her mom, which was these whole food concentrates. And my dad was previously a professional athlete. My mom was a dentist. So they had both been approached by just about every product under the sun and were pretty skeptical of everything. However, this made sense to me because it was fruits and vegetables. And I was raised in a health conscious home and knew that as many fruits and vegetables as we can be getting in our bodies, the absolute better, right? And so I was open-minded to this concept and was a little skeptical. But when she showed me that there's actually a humongous body of research on all of this fruit and vegetable nutrition, I right away said, oh my gosh, I need this. Everybody I love needs this. How do I get it to them? And that's really where my story began 13 years ago. So my entire family has been consuming these products for all of that time. And we have a really long list between all of us of all the different health benefits that we have experienced. I mean, if you just think about if you were to be getting a wider variety and more fruits and vegetables into your diet every single day, you can just imagine some of the things you would experience. And some of those are really simple things like more frequent, easier bowel movements for aunts and uncles calling up and saying, hey, I went to the bathroom today, to, health benefits on the other end of the spectrum that feel really miraculous and actually make me tear up when I talk about them. So I won't go into that right now. But I will say that for me, what I noticed right away when I first started consuming them was I just felt more energized. And at the time, being an athlete, taking a lot of units in school, doing an internship on the side, I was really taxed. So having more energy was good. I noticed that I was recovering faster, a lot faster after workouts, bouncing back quickly. And after a few months of taking the whole food concentrates, these plant powders, I really noticed that I hadn't gotten sick through a cold and flu season. And that was rare for me. I had always gotten something, especially because basketball season fell during cold and flu season. So that was great. But then fast forward all these years later, and I am a mother of two. I have my daughter who is 6, and she has been consuming these from the moment of conception in the womb. And then I now also have a 7-week-old baby, and she also has been getting these in the womb. And the reason why this is my favorite, because I mean, as moms, right, it's not about us anymore. Everything is about our kiddos, and we want the best for them. I had a really, really, really healthy pregnancies both times, really no issues, was able to do all natural delivery with both kids, and was able to recover really quickly. I had an abundance of breast milk with my daughter, Evie, I breastfed her for 14 months. And then also with this one, I'm also experiencing plenty of breast milk, actually starting to share with others who are in need. So I love the pregnancy journey with this assistance, because I just know so many people have, there's a lot that goes on during pregnancy and your body's really taxed. The nursing journey has been really great with these. And my daughter, Evie, being 6 years old, she's really only ever been sick maybe twice her whole life, nothing super serious. She's never been to the doctor for anything other than a well check. And she's never had an over-the-counter medication or a prescription medication. And I know, to what Robin said earlier, it is really sad to see what the nutrition is for our kids these days, and also what their reality is of just constantly being sick. And my daughter she was in preschool for 2 years, she was in TK, and now she's in kindergarten. And just seeing how there's a revolving door of kids constantly being sick and bringing stuff in and sharing it with the classroom. It's a scary thing. And I just feel like there's this protection that I'm sending her to school with every single day.
Did you use a prenatal?
I did not. I just doubled up and tripled up with the plant powders. And for me, that worked really well. And I actually had my OBGYN and my midwife in my pregnancy with my first daughter. They kept hounding me. Why aren't you taking a prenatal? Why aren't you taking a prenatal? I said, I'm just going to stick with real food. I think that's the best. And that was what I was talking about, the whole food concentrates. And when my first round of blood work came back, they both asked me, what is your secret? Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? And they said, we don't see blood work like this. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So that's,
So I'm going to stop you right there. We're going to have another mom come on, but what Courtney said that was very magical is about her blood work. There's no disputing what can be seen and known through the blood work. And we know that it changes us at a cellular level and it enhances us in so many ways. And I challenge those out there who are like, okay, what are they talking about? Skeptical to not just take our word for it, but actually to let your blood work speak to it. So Marjorie, next is Marjorie, and hi, how are you? So start off, Marjorie, sharing with us how you were introduced to the whole food. You will hear us say whole food concentrates, whole food plant powders, as well as your journey in your nursing now as well. So
yes. So I was introduced to the plant concentrates by my mother in 2014. And I'm very grateful. I always want to just say thank you to her, because she always was the one to find the good things in life for us as growing up. So thankfully I was raised pretty healthy. She juiced throughout my entire childhood. So when she brought this to me right after having my daughter was almost 2 years old, and she's going to be turning 9 on Monday. So celebrating her birthday there. But what I can just say is that when she brought it to us, it made sense, because it was just a simple way for us to replace all of the tedious activities that we were doing through juicing. And at first I actually told her, I said, you know what? We're good. My husband and I, we were juicing. We were doing those, those CDs where you pop it in and you do those workouts, trying to bring my body back after pregnancy. And I said, I really don't need it. She's like, just trust me, baby. This will help you save so much time, energy, all of that. And I said, okay. So I trusted her. And what I ended up finding is that my body did come back into great shape with all the things that I was doing on top of this. But my daughter, she was nursing at the time, and I ended up nursing her till she was 3 years old, which I'm very thankful for. I was able to stay home with her, given the other side of this whole picture, which is just a beautiful opportunity for me to choose the lifestyle that I wanted. But, my daughter, she has never turned down vegetables or fruits, because she was getting that through my breast milk, and her palate was just used to all of this produce. And so I'm very thankful for that. And, you know, we were living in San Diego at the time. So outside, we started our own traditional garden. We also used the vertical garden, which Donna has on her screen. And we were teaching her ways in which she can just have access to more fresh produce. And we were very thankful to see her grow up that way. My personal health results from consuming these plant concentrates, I just saw my skin clear up. That was something that I really battled growing up. I had cystic acne, and my skin slowly but surely over the years just started to get better, all the way down to the fact that the scars from old acne breakouts were going away. So that means that the density of my skin and all the clarity of my skin was just improving over time. And that is something that I'm very grateful for, because that gives you confidence when you can have clear skin to be able to smile in front of someone and not be thinking about the breakout. So that was one benefit. The other benefit was the fact that I used to have migraines, debilitating, so much so that I was doing neurobiofeedback, everything under the sun. We were going to many doctors. So over the course of time, I just saw little changes where I thought I was so healthy already, leading a vegetarian life. But now with these plant concentrates, it really just added on an additional bonus that benefits. Talking about the cellular level, my goodness, it made a big change. So fast forward, I have, he was born March 2020, and he's 17 months. He's going to be 18 months on the 5th. And I'm nursing him now. And he was my baby that, as we would say, he had all the nutrition from these plant concentrates from the very beginning. So in my womb, he was receiving it. Also, like Courtney was saying, the OBGYN and the nurses were all really astounded at the results that I had and how healthy of a baby that came out of me. He was huge. And he's been on the 95 percentile from the get-go and has held steady, even through the time when I was battling mastitis, which for nursing mothers, you know that's an inflammation of the breast. And I was able to fight that infection without antibiotics, and I'm so proud of that. Woo woo.
Yes.
And I maintained my the consistency of my gut health that way. And you know, I'm still nursing him, so it's a big fight, and I get choked up because I'm like, yes. But you know what? It's a beautiful thing to be able to offer my children this nutrition, and thank God, like, I'm still nursing.
I know. I almost get choked up. You said a couple of key things that I know. It's like if you get emotional because you're like, this is so good.
Yeah.
You said some key things. You said, and this is true, your children are craving the nutrients. So is my daughter. It's like she just will go and just eating carrots and eating all these vegetables. And people are like, how do you get her to do that? It's when they get this in their body is like, knows what to do. The other thing you said that was powerful was about juicing, because we like to, I mean, if you were to juice every day, which is expensive and time consuming, if you were to juice vine ripened produce, this is that. But this is just a way to get it without all of that. It's done for you. And so you mentioned that, so that was very powerful. And you said, like Courtney said, don't just take our word for it, but your OB and your midwife, and they can look at the results of your baby, the health of your baby, and look at your blood work. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, and we're gonna move on. So Alayna's gonna tell us her story, and it is my understanding that Alayna, because we were hoping she would be here because she has a bun in the oven that is ready to come out. So Alayna, share with us how you found out in your mommy pregnancy journey.
Yes, literally so ready to come out. I will be 39 weeks tomorrow, and she is kicking like crazy as we speak. Well, yes, my name is Alayna, and I feel so honored to be able to speak tonight. And I feel even more honored that she let me make it to this event to share this information with y'all, because 7.5 years ago, I was told by several doctors and specialists that getting pregnant one day was going to be a real challenge, all because I was a picky eater. Now, I don't think back then as a 24-year-old, I fully understood how imperative good nutrition and fertility were until I was given this news at such a young age when, yes, getting a college degree and all those things were important to me, but being a mother one day was my life goal. It was literally my life dream, and being given that information, all because I didn't eat that well, was devastating. So little did I know, my poor eating habits growing up were the root cause of my gut health issues I had been dealing with for years. I got married to a military man at 19 years old, and certain issues I'll mention in a second were coming up frequently and ruining a lot of spontaneity in our love life. And I decided to go down a nutritional journey on my own because specialists were not really supportive, or I was not finding the knowledgeable ones, at least. So those issues were something I'm sure many of you on here have heard of and dealt with yourself, man or woman. I should say woman or a man, but UTIs, so urinary tract infections, yeast infections, and really so many other diet related issues, illnesses, were problems. I was told as a woman, this is normal. Here's a medication. Let's give this to you and it'll help. And it wasn't until a dear family friend heard my desperate cry for help and offered me a one simple change our family is still able to stick with so conveniently and affordably to this day. And I'm just so fortunate for that. It was like our friend knew I was searching. I was searching for something that actually worked. I was searching for something that had real gold standard research, not just something randomly written and put into an article, but gold standard, peer reviewed, double blind, placebo controlled research. I was so impressed by what I had learned about this, information. And most importantly, I was looking for something, I was searching for something that was certified safe for my future journey of becoming a hopeful mama. So what we learned and the nutrition she shared with us, it didn't cure any of my issues, right? I didn't even have expectations of it doing that anyway, but it definitely was the catalyst to helping us make truly healthier, wholesome choices to support our daily lifestyle and diet. So issues like my UTIs, my yeast infections, they started to dwindle after just a couple of months. Blood work started to improve, glucose levels. So we mentioned blood work in earlier testimonies here. White blood cell counts, protein levels, proteins in my urine, iron levels, etc. I went from suffering, from one infection a month to barely one a year, all while slowly weaning off antibiotic medications that I was told I would need for years to come. I did start to initially try to get pregnant several years into this journey, and nothing miraculous happened overnight. But when we did finally get pregnant, I hardly had any morning sickness or food aversions. My energy level was so good that I would manage to go to my super stressful full-time corporate job all day, come out of that, go do an intense, Olympic weightlifting workout in the afternoon, and still feel good and well enough and energized enough to come home, cook dinner, maybe do a little extra meal prep for the next day or two, and then work my home-based business in the evenings. And all through that first pregnancy, and he ended up being a pandemic baby. So like Marjorie, same boat, born in March. I only got sick one time with a cold, which was huge. We never got sick before, but I knew in my head, oh, pregnant women, their immune systems are so weakened. I'm bound to get sick often, right?
Yeah.
No. And holidays, when it comes to the holidays, eating unhealthy and having constipation because of all the sugars and being pregnant and everything, I hardly suffered with any of that and the stress of traveling. So just to kind of get to the birth part of my story and the last little bit here, my birth was truly my dream birth, a natural, healthy 8-pound, 1-ounce baby boy who was so comfy inside mama that he was 11 days late. I don't believe in due dates because of him. And he had an APGAR score of a 9. Postpartum was better than I could have ever imagined it would be, from the fast healing, specifically because I had minor tears. That was a blessing. Minimal postpartum baby blues, which was huge because I was under a lot of stress with the pandemic, with my husband recently deploying when my son was only 2 months old, and everything under the sun, Murphy's Law. I was doing really well, and minimum postpartum hair loss. So another thing I was really scared of. But the biggest blessing was the beautiful opportunity to successfully breastfeed my growing little guy until he was about a year old. And now he's a crazy little vegetable eating machine, a 1.5 years old, almost 18 months.
Yes.
Who asks daily for his smoothie. He calls it his smoo, and he asks for his produce capsules. He goes juice, and gummies, because we take both a produce capsule form and a whole food gummy form. He asks for it off the counter, and he asks for things out of the fridge. And he also asks for the fresh fruits and veggies growing off of our vertical aeroponic growing system. So
amazing.
Like Robin said, I'm pregnant with our second, and I thankfully had another textbook pregnancy. And I have truly learned so much more this pregnancy than I knew before. And, all about the truth about nutrition and motherhood. And my passion has truly grown even deeper to love on and share with any other woman who is open to listening. Thank you.
Thank you. You said the research, so that's a very important key that those of you are listening, that not just the research on fruits and vegetables, but these fruits and vegetables that are inside of this, we put them in capsules or chewable, the research specifically on this. So we'd love to share and talk more about that. We're going to have, Donna's going to wrap us up. I let you say, how long will it be? So we said 30 minutes. We may run like 5 minutes over, but Donna Merritt is going to share her journey. And also, Donna, because you have our vertical garden behind you. So if you could just tell us, because we grow produce too. So we're all about it, y'all. We grow produce. We take it in capsules and chewables. We ain't playing. And we want y'all to know what's possible. So Donna, share with us a little bit about your vertical gardens and then your mommy journey.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Donna. And yes, what you see behind you is my tower garden, my vertical garden. And it is our home-based version, our home version. And it comes with lights, as you can see. And these 3 pictures are of the same tower over a 2-month span. So you can see the speed, the growth that we enjoyed. Okay, how quickly in just a little over a month we were harvesting our food. And this is like right in my kitchen. It doesn't take up much space at all. I love that it's aeroponic. It's good for the environment. It has a low footprint. It doesn't use a lot of water. It utilizes the nutrients and air, and plants just love it. They thrive. They taste better than produce that I've had from the store. I don't have to worry about where my food comes from. It's not just for home use. There's also commercial use. There's, restaurants grow their food and supply their patrons. Schools love towers. There's STEM curriculums that come with it. Kids really love seeing and nurturing their own little pet plant. So, it's so many positive aspects of growing your own food. So we have something for everyone, as everyone has said, food in capsule form and in a chewable form, but you can also grow your own food. Okay, so it's wonderful. Now, how I was introduced to all of this wonderful health and nutrition. When my little ones, my first two were about 4 and 2. I mean, those were the sickliest kids. Y'all know about sickly children? You know, y'all know about, anybody know about running out to 24-hour Walmart to find some pain reducing stuff, or the tepid baths and all of that? Okay. That was my life. And it was very stressful after coming home from a stressful job. And my own health was challenged. You know, I suffered from anemia, and my hormone levels were just not great. And I was seriously trying to, you know, bring in the third, okay? And, but we had real challenges. I had 2 miscarriages in 1 year. And that really was, that was it. That I was done. I was like, okay, I need something more. And we were a health conscious family. I mean, we, you know, I thought with all of the Whole Foods and being in a community was very health conscious. And I must admit, I didn't want to take certain things that made me feel like I was a cow on my lawn eating grass. But I just knew that I needed to have something to help that I either liked the taste or I didn't taste it at all. And in just literally in 24 hours, I met someone who on a plane who told me about these plant powders. And I'm so grateful. You just never know how an encounter can change your life. And that's what this encounter did for me. As I learned what you've heard already from fellow mamas with us tonight, awesome research, whole food, nutrition in a capsule. You know, I knew I needed fruits and vegetables. We weren't eating as much as we could. I didn't understand the depth of all of the science behind it and all that, but I got educated and really appreciated and knew this was something our whole family needed to do. So we jumped on board, started consuming, because Donna was not going to do a lot of juicing. I'll tell you, it just wasn't. That what I know. Some of y'all are all over that, and my hat's off to you. But this was something that we needed to bridge the gap, okay, because we weren't getting that enough fruits and vegetables in our diet. So within just a few weeks, couple of weeks, I too had greater energy levels. I wasn't dragging in the afternoon. I could think clearer. I noticed that over time, the kids were just not getting as sick like they were. They just were, you know, all of that cleared up. My husband, who was skeptical at first, about 8 months in, when he had his military physical, his cholesterol had dropped 40 points to normal. He was craving more fruits and vegetables. I wasn't, you know, having to really push that. It was a natural, as Robin mentioned, just the body craves what it needs. And the taste buds really changed. Y'all, I would not eat kale. I tried. But I can tell you today, I can wolf down some kale in all kind of forms, raw, straight up, not even wilted. That is huge for me. You know, it's those little things that you see changing in your body that make such a difference. So a year into taking Juice Plus, I got pregnant, and this was my fruit and veggie baby. Okay, I mean, just I was infused with so much health and nutrition. I did not take any prenatals. I tripled up on my intake of these fruits and vegetable powders. Exercised, drank lots of water. I watched my stress level. The kids were even not as challenging. I don't know. I mean, they're still kids now, but you know, they weren't as sick, so they weren't as they weren't as much of a challenge because they weren't as miserable. With that, you know, the connection there. So my progesterone, which was the issue, it was too low before. That was great. Anemia, which was an issue even outside of pregnancy, that cleared up. I kept harassing the doctors. Okay, is everything okay? Is everything? And my labs and everything were wonderful. I mean, they were like, leave us alone. Okay, you're doing great. And yeah, he was again, like you, Marjorie, didn't want to come out, but when he did, it's 8 pounds, 15 ounces, and just a beautiful, healthy boy. And because I have just been able to just spend that wonderful quality time with him. I nursed him for about a year and a half, I'd say. Yeah, about a year and a half. And I nursed the others too. But with him, I had more milk. With him, even the labor, I could handle the contractions and all better. All three are just healthy young adults now, because that baby about to turn 20. Okay. And the older two are now 23 and 25. So yeah, I'm the old gal on this call.
Well, we
I've
appreciate
been
it.
blessed to just see them grow healthy. They understand what good food is, and they make the choices on their own, and they love the tower.
Thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up, you all, but I wanted to answer some of the questions. People are saying, you know, how do they get them? So let me just say this: contact the person that invited you here. There's a couple things I want you to know. So getting more information, to figuring out how you can get this in your life, contact the person that invited you here. That's the first step. Something else I want you all to know is that, and let me clarify, we grow our produce. So we do that through an aeroponic way through the tower. So you can see back with Donna. So we grow raw, vine wrapped, we grow it. All kinds of produce right inside of our homes. You can grow all year round. We can grow outside. So we didn't spend a lot of time talking about our growing, but we do that. That is a part of what our community does do. We grow. We also take our produce in capsules or chewables, but the produce that's in the capsules or chewables are not from our towers directly. We have farms, different non-GMO farmers that do the process, because it's a big deal. So they put all this produce in the capsules, and then we get them shipped to us. So the produce that are in the capsules, because someone was saying, well, how can I make them? So we don't make the capsules or the chewables. We send out for them, but we grow. So we grow, and then we consume them. And the other thing that we did not say is that children 4 through 18 in college receive this whole food nutrition for free. So I'm going to leave it right there, because that's exciting. I want you to contact the person that invited you here so you can get the details. We do a study on children called the Family Health Study. And again, just like you heard about the moms and their blood works, we know the benefits of what happens with the children, and that's what it's all about. So with that being said, just know what we're sharing is legit. They talk about research, they talk about blood work. We are non-GMO. I mean, I can go on and on. As a nutritionist, I work with clients all the time. I could not tell them something that I didn't know that, I mean, I have to be legit if my clients trust me. So I put my stamp of approval on it 1,000%, because I say to you, what do you think would happen to your body if you consumed 30 raw fruits and vegetables every day, and you pass that along to your children at a gut level, at a cellular level? We know what happens to you. Everybody has a different story, because the nutrition knows where to go. So I'll let that be. We're glad that you were here. We hope that you were inspired. Contact the person that invited you here. That is my action item for you. And I thank you. I thank the mamas that were here. I'm going to stop the recording, but if there are any questions, we do, let's call like an after party, because we know sometimes people have to hop off. So I'm going to stop the recording, but we can chat a little bit if you all still need to do that. So